Today, we're going to update you on what is happening with the Disney Cruise Line.
Hey guys, it's KJ.
John.
And Winnie from Disney Mom Life. Welcome to our channel where we do videos on
Disney.
motherhood and lifestyle. If you like this video,
Give it a thumbs up.
hit that red subscribe button.
Ding that notification bell.
And leave us a comment. And John, what are we going to talk about today?
Today, we're going to update you on what is happening with the Disney Cruise Line. As many of you already know, Disney sailings are canceled the rest of the summer through the early part of the fall. And that just doesn't go for Disney, but all major cruise companies in the United States and beyond. As of now, all the major cruise lines are set to sail in the early part of the fall. Both Carnival and Norwegian cruise lines will sail October 1st, followed by the Disney Cruise Line resuming their sailings on October 4th, as they will depart from San Diego and head to Cabo. Of course, this is just a projected sail date because we have had earlier sail dates that had to be postponed and pushed back. It's reasonable to think that because of what is happening in the state of Florida and California, that cruise sailings for all of the major cruise companies could get pushed back. But as of now, Disney Cruise is set to return on October 4th. And with the return, Disney has announced they will have enhanced cleaning measures and sanitation on all of their boats. Disney Cruise Line staff members are going through rigorous and enhanced training for safety protocols in this coronavirus world. And all passengers and crew members that board the boat will have to undergo some sort of health screening protocol before they are allowed to board the boat. We're assuming this will be very similar to how cast members and guests are allowed entry into the Disney parks. Disney has also announced that they will have well-trained medical personnel that will be able to diagnose and treat a variety of illnesses. For those of you who like to hit the buffet, Disney has also announced that the self-serve buffet will be suspended. You will not be able to self-serve yourself. So I'm assuming that might extend to the soft-serve ice cream, which would probably break my heart if I were on one of the Disney ships. Don't know if soft-serve ice cream, but I would assume that they don't want people touching the food. They want it to be a kind of a controlled environment. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works, how many additional staff members they may need to make that work. It's also going to be interesting to see what kind of capacity limits that they put on these ships, because while everyone would have their individual cabins, when it comes time to eat in the restaurants, there's obviously limited seating to where they even put parties together. So that part of the Disney Cruise Line tradition will probably have to go by the wayside for at least a little while. And much like the parks, Disney will have numerous hand washing and sanitizing stations all throughout the ship. That way people can keep themselves clean and healthy and enjoying themselves. Little hand sanitizer, never hurt anybody. So much like we've seen with the opening of the parks, Disney seems to be on top of this ever-changing world. And at this point, if ships are allowed to sail come October, I feel confident, I don't know about you, that Disney will do it in the safest way that this world allows.
I can't say that I'll be getting on a ship anytime soon. If you guys follow us, you know that we had to cancel our cruise back in March. It actually did set sail. It was the last one to go out, but we sort of felt like, well, if they're canceling all the boats, why would we go on the last one? And the biggest concern was if for some reason someone did get COVID on the ship, if we had to be quarantined. Winnie was 4 months old at the time, and my fear was us getting quarantined on a boat while my 4-month-old was at home. And I don't know that I would go while we're still in a COVID world. We want to go at some point. We really, really want to go, but it would probably have to be at a time when there isn't any kind of risk of being away from Winnie indefinitely.
Well, considering testing is much more prevalent and a lot quicker these days, even if someone did come down with the virus on board the ship, their ability to test people and either clear them or not clear them of the virus should happen a lot more quickly. The need to keep people on boats for 14 days out at sea seems like it would not be necessary in this world now that we can kind of test everyone quickly. I don't know if I'm going to be on a boat in October, but come early next year, you know, late winter, early spring, I would probably feel comfortable getting on a boat. Obviously, the world changes if we come up with a vaccine. A vaccine changes everything, not just for the Disney Cruise Line, not just for cruise lines, just for all of the world. People can go back to their offices, ride trains, fly in airplanes, take vacations, you know, leisure, entertainment, movie theaters. It all changes, obviously, with the vaccine, and the cruise lines are one of those industries, much like the parks, that would benefit greatly from a vaccine. Obviously, if we have reservations about getting on a cruise ship these days, we're sure that you probably do too. That's why Disney is taking some unprecedented steps to ensure your safety and to ensure your satisfaction as they take their customer service to a whole new level.
For any cruises booked by August 31st, 2020, for sailings through March of 2021, Disney says you can now rest assured knowing you can change your sail date up to 15 days prior to departure. That is completely unprecedented.
Yeah, so the policy doesn't seem that dissimilar from what a lot of airlines were sort of forced to do in March, April area, where they were basically giving people flight credits that would last 2 years. So So Disney's kind of taking that policy and applying it to cruise lines.
Disney noted several things, including that this particular offer is for new bookings made by August 31st, 2020, and also for existing bookings, but they must be within the departure date window. They also noted that this was applicable to cruises departing through March 31st, 2021, and that guests can change their sail date up to 15 days prior for any cruise commencing prior to April 1st, 2022. So they're really giving you a lot of wiggle room here. That's April 2022. That's almost 2 years away.
Right. As long as you're sailing before March of 2021. And the great thing is that they're letting you cancel within 15 days. That is huge because that does not give them a lot of time where if you cancel on them to, rebook your stateroom with someone else. So they are putting themselves out there to lose money, but they're doing it for good reason because safety comes first and your peace of mind comes first.
A few other important details Disney noted. Guests cannot change their reservation back to the original sail date after taking advantage of this offer. Should you cancel your new sail date, any cancellation fees applicable to the original sail date will be deferred and applied as a minimum cancellation fee to the future sailing. And if you did book your flight through Disney Cruise Line, standard air cancellation fees apply for these guests.
So basically the way I take that is Disney will let you cancel your cruise once without penalty. They'll give you a credit. But if you're looking to do it again, you're going to have to pay some of the cancellation charges, which seems reasonable. You have until April of 2022. So if by then you're still not comfortable sailing, well, then maybe this isn't the time to be booking a cruise, I would say. Maybe just hold off at that point.
I mean, we really don't know what the world is going to look like.
Yeah, it's true. And listen, obviously these are their policies and they may not change, but everything's always subject to change. So who knows? If the world really does deteriorate, they may have to change these policies. For all we know, those get extended. Things constantly change, but even the way it's laid out now, it's still a pretty good cancellation policy. Unfortunately, on date of recording, Florida has hit record highs for both COVID cases and COVID deaths for a single day. So that is awful news. And obviously, anything we're talking about vacation entertainment-wise pales in comparison to the realities going on in Florida and also some of the surges we're seeing in other states like California and Texas and beyond. So in light of that, let's speculate a little. October 4th, Disney's first sailing is set to be that day, San Diego to Cabo. So with all the realities that are going on in the world, what are the chances that October 4th, Disney's first sailing date since this all began, actually happens as scheduled?
That is such a tough call. We're in New York. We are right outside the city. John and I both work in Manhattan. Well, we did work in Manhattan. Now we're working from home. For a while, we were at the epicenter of all of this, and now it seems like things are starting to get better, but in other places that's not the case. So I guess it's really going to just depend on where we are in the next couple of months. Disneyland is still closed.
Yeah, and for some perspective, for those who may not know how New York really was, New York only a couple of days ago, literally just days ago, celebrated its first day of having 0 COVID deaths since March. So that's 4 months since this all began. If this is only peaking now in Florida, 4 months wouldn't be till November. Now, I know this first Disney cruise leaves from California, but all those other cruise lines I mentioned, whether it's Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, they all have cruises leaving from Florida that same week. So I think if one cruise line starts pushing bookings, I think they all will follow suit. I think Disney included. We'll just have to wait and see. We see in the market, there's a lot of pessimism and optimism on a day-to-day basis about whether these cruise lines are going to be able to actually sail in 2020.
And one thing to note though, Disney was the last of the Florida theme parks to open. I mean, it was a month after, so I can also see, even if cruises are going out, Carnival, Norwegian, and so on, I could see Disney waiting and holding off until they have everything in order. My guess would be that people who are going on a Disney cruise, much like people who are going to the parks right now, are people who love Disney, who want to see the parks open.
KJ makes a great point there because while Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, their business is cruising. Disney has the luxury of leaning on their theme parks and Disney Plus and ESPN and movie distribution, where if the cruise line isn't up and running by October 4th, the company can kind of still remain afloat and is not going to need a bailout like some of these other cruise lines. So those other cruise lines may be a little more aggressive into getting out there. Disney has the luxury of not being overly aggressive and really letting the health conditions dictate when they sail. You're right, we actually may see Disney be the laggard here as they were when the parks opened.
So that does it for our Disney cruise news, our Disney cruise speculation. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think Disney Cruise Line will be setting sail on October 4th? If so, tell us why. If not, tell us why. We'd love to hear from you.
And I'd be curious if any of you plan to book before August 31st, since that would allow you to cancel before the end of March.
If you guys like this video, if you like cruise news, let us know.
And give us a thumbs up.
Hit that subscribe button.
Ding that notification bell.
And leave us a comment. Again, let us know. Are you guys going on a cruise? If not, how come? If you are, when are you going? You know what to do. Leave it in the comments down below. And with that, we will see you real soon. Bye!
See you on the boat, whenever we get there.